My check.
My check.
My check.
My check. My check.
My check.
My check.
It's simple. Check your HIV status now. All these and more on Fast. Fast, showing soon on Ocean One TV.
Hello, my name is Dr. Isaac Imanata. Do you know what mental health is? Meet us on Nsem this and every Tuesday on Ocean One TV.
Nsem, redefining mental health in Ghana and beyond.
Good evening. Yamu wana kwa bazirba Nsem jumezi. We're from Dr. Isaac Manata. I'm a medical doctor and also a clinical health psychologist. Na nyamina duma yeshwa adwun Nsem ne ye kane. Na demu jumezi we talk about mental health issues. Issues are or affect apomuzin in terms of how you think, how you feel and how you behave. Na ye de ho ina se the way nyamber no worshwe na enwubri. And because of reasons be when I will join them, they won't be around. Anita and Mr. Samson Opokwajman, they won't be around. And so in there, I'm going to have a certain interaction with you. And topic I hear discussing that very, very important. The whole of this week and this month, I think that has been dedicated to talking about HIV and AIDS. The HIV and AIDS. Almost everybody in the country would have heard about HIV and AIDS. Now, mental health issues, also those around HIV and AIDS. In that we are going to talk about HIV and AIDS and mental health. So we are going to look at the mental health aspect of HIV and AIDS. And normally, when we talk about HIV and AIDS, normally, about causes, na physical, and na symptoms, na signs, na management, na treatment, and all kinds of things around it. But the aspect, papa, only the mental health aspect of HIV and AIDS. Only that in the yerba kawasem. And you have to know that mental health is a broad thing. Yakade adwini munsema. Onye de sebi obi a sebi wa bodam onam kwa honkotin. But you have to know the physical illnesses, it has mental health implications. In that there are mental health issues or affect physical illnesses. Now, yeka mental health umpa. On this show, we've said that any thinking, any feeling, any behavior that is affecting your life, it is in the domain of mental health. Inti adwini biara redwen, atinke biara erinya, ena enyeme bi oru kodo wa brabom, or titi or how your behavior, your thinking, your feelings and your behavior, suben biara or how no, it is in the domain of mental health. So beyond sebio madness, there is more to mental health. Now on this show, I've said that we have about 10 different groups of mental disorders. Now mental illness is not sorry. Abodam Yoruba no count, but it's one of the most severe and nyama yenyim pinyen. But there is more to it. Now Yoruba biara ebefan wo wiase every illness in this world has a mental health dimension. Yoruba biara you would think about, whether it's malaria or hypertension, diabetes and HIV, pneumonia and all those things, every illness you can think about may be a physical, more physical illness, but it has mental health dimensions. So there is mental health dimensions to every illness you can think about, including HIV and AIDS. But normally, we look at the physical aspect of illnesses in the psychological, the social and the spiritual dimensions. And I think on this show we've talked about the fact that when we talk about health, there are 4 dimensions: your physical well-being, your mental or psychological well-being, your social well-being, and your spiritual well-being. These are the 4 things that will define your health. Now, them four things, even with mental health, your thinking, your emotions, and your behavior, no? The way you feel, the way you are, the way you behave, no? If it is causing a certain distress, there oma eyobi eba wankasa wa brabum anankofo around you. Another, it is causing a certain dysfunction. That because of the margin, because of them feeling or them behavior, no, you are not able to go about your normal duties. In a wara brabo bon anon things that are going on around you. If it is not happening that way, then it's something that we need to address. Then also, it's not causing a certain damage to people around. Then anyone see and anyone relate, anyone interact, it shouldn't cause a certain damage to them. Only or affect one. So if there's a thinking or emotions or behavior or one brabuma or affect people around, then it's in the domain of mental health. And also it shouldn't deviate from social norms. There, young society, young culture, na nunkeke kauno. There are things, certain norms na za. Yes, bobra. Now, if it deviates from those norms, then it is something that has to be addressed. So mental health is very broad. Now, Yarika say, oh, that means that he na yero. Yeah, it is true that at some point in your life, you may go through certain things that require a certain professional, attention. So mental health is very, very, very broad. Then we also said that for mental health, there are 5 things or there or kodu ye wa brabuma yebeka you are mentally healthy. The first one in there, one can say you should be independent. There won't quite no. You should be able to own your own thoughts. You shouldn't be hearing voices. You shouldn't be always, like you can't take decisions yourself. You can't become independent because of certain issues. Then we say you are mentally unwell. Another thing too has to do with the fact that other one can say to form relationships. You should be able to form relationships and maintain healthy relationships. If obi wohona say ikitemuza onye nkrofu bezi na azino, it's not appropriate. Then the person will say is mentally unwell. Another thing too is the fact that one can say you should be able to set goals and pursue meaningful life goals. You should be able to own your goals, be able to set goals, and be able to pursue those goals. Say into minyadama, then mentally you may be unwell. Then another thing too has to do with the fact that you should be able to contribute to society. There are you should be found that to contribute there. A society, you don't make it worse, but with you in the society should be able to move on and be able to do better because you are around. And if there is something in your life, in your thinking, your emotions, your behavior, now it is affecting the way even society, a contributor, then probably you are mentally unwell. Then the last thing is that you should be able to change and adapt to situation and cope with life challenges. There are many people, because of how they think, how they feel, and how they behave, they are not able to adjustment in a coping adjusting to change. It's like it's difficult for them. And because of that, they cannot successfully, live, day-to-day activities with work, with relationships and all that. So these are the 5 things we look at if we say someone is mentally well. So you're mentally healthier. These are the things we look at, right? Inti, so yeah, for HIV na AIDS, so you realize that in your opinion, HIV AIDS one, you realize the issue is here or deviate kakra. To be able to apply and be able to do all those things, you realize that onkoye kakra, especially with HIV and AIDS. Now in there, Rebecca Wasem. So if you are watching me, you can invite a friend, invite a sister or a brother or an auntie. Now one share imagine Nsem Jumezi. Like I said, my name is Dr. Isaac Manata, a medical doctor and also a clinical health psychologist. Now Yero Kodoro, you have fun in 4 areas when we talk about HIV and AIDS and mental health, the mental health implications of AIDS. Now we'll take it in 4 levels. The first one has to do with the risk factors there enyema or predispose people to getting HIV no, and mental health. The mental health is susando. And another thing to ever canyon about the diagnosis. There you diagnose obia or HIV no. Everything around the diagnosis of HIV and AIDS and mental health. Then we'll talk about the management itself. The obiwenya AIDS or onyim do AIDS. Ewa, the managing no. There are certain mental health dimensions to that. We'll look at that. Then the last thing in there, obia or HIV AIDS no. In sunsuanda or your mental health HIV AIDS or that brain no. Honestly, so we'll talk about the impact of HIV AIDS in relation to mental health. And so that is what we are going to talk about today. But generally, HIV AIDS, there are viruses. HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. It's a virus, right? Now, them virus, affect or weaken wo immune system. The immune system na or soldiers are nyankopon wa bo hunim dreamer or fight HIV, virus and other infections. In this, any germs and any infection be a common dreamer. The body mounts up a defense, right? In a BBR or body, the body mounts up a defense. If it's foreign, the body will fight it so that or affect Now, HIV viruses, what it does, AIDS virus, what it does is that or destroy wood defense system no into destroy any them obanema no we be abo no ma bibia onye or attack your body no, they will successfully be able to attack your body and destroy everything that is in your body. Into that is basically what HIV in a AIDS in more thing. Now more thing there, it affects every aspect of your body. Every part of your body and the function of your body, it affects it. Into what can or a syndrome. Syndrome means that there are many things or boma or relate with them disease, now or cause the manifestation of that disease. In this obinya AIDS, on your viruses in one body ma, it may take about 10 years and some we do AIDS, disease proper. Then the damage na all body minan. It may take about 10 years before it gets to that. Now obi bekede dem buebe ikra os then call body mu. So now we're going to talk about the risk factors. Basically, there are secretions, fluid that often more konjipakronumu, especially blood in around that in or cost AIDS in pema gruzi. So sex is one major thing. There any besia erishia and any benin erishia unsa or is the exchange na azeno mbwabon wom intenye obire dano. It is possible there or a transfer mbwabani bi no za abom. Another thing too is that any blood exchange, there blood transfusion, another or you in your share blade and needles naze. Until you use blade that we use and needles that we use, you are exchanging mbwabano into wobia ebotu menya. In another thing to us with pregnancy, there eba in son another during delivery time and another breastfeeding as everything surrounding a pregnancy as it can also so we call something mother to child transmission, ono so ho enti edame nyame nkakreme or exposing crofo to HIV AIDS. Now you can risk factors. The first thing you can risk factors are mabody in a mental health. Ono ne yerebo share that what are the mental health issues or influence them risk factors enwa nyama mabu body. What are the mental health issues or influence them risk factors or how or another or shasa or influence in crofo in these kind of risk factors. So we will deal with them risk factors now. It reduces their chances of having HIV/AIDS. Into yefa sex in pema gruzina zina even sharing of needles, especially with drug use and drug abuse. When we use in Dubon as I was share needles na zino. There are mental health issues associated with sex, or predispose people to HIV/AIDS. In friend in the drug abuse and drug use. Into only first yerba kawasem. So yer can ode hunde in relation to sex, on when our multiple sexual partners, there were more than one sexual partners. And there, a benina, a won't be fu pinyan, another will be sia, a won't be fu pinyan. Nancy so in being fu, when you being fu dana, multiple sexual partners, it predisposes people, increased risk of developing HIV. Now the question is that why would someone, anti-no-be, can't stick to one person but have multiple sexual partners? The next thing is that any sexual relationship ewa onye benyi na besia nkitawuzi no ewa ina onfa kwan papado there ebia infa besia na name na benyi na name sebio the normal route no onye ni infa no, it increases your risk. Inti benyi na besia benyi erda, the risk is higher amongst gay community, in a men sleeping with men, in a one way bisexual, no, it's a benino besio, oh no, they don't really both, they sleep with them. The HIV amongst them, is quite higher and transmission is higher. In again, so on anal sex, there said you besiana name one fan for na say be was it for nature, another benin nature was it for honor. Anal sex increases people's chances of HIVs. A risk can go up with even with anal sex and things like that. And obviously say in worry na say in you obi in you for the dead da, your risk goes up. And say hour so na stay with your partner. Not say it around her, it increases your risk. So generally, if people don't sleep with each other before marriage, another a war, not say worrying in pakroro, not say in fundechira, it means that we contain the risk. Now the question is that why do people engage in all these sexual behaviors? Why? Does it have some mental health implications to that? Is there a baby general the way I will feel the way I will behave no? Are there problems with that? Oman Crawford get involved in that kind of behaviors. Also prostitution and all that increases the risk of HIV spread nazi. And so in a market there, drug use and drug abuse, one of it increases their risk. And those who are involved in alcohol abuse and all that, generally one woman sanas, they get involved in all kinds of risky, sexual behaviors, or predispose and or increase one risk of getting HIVs. It is here for sex issues, here for drug use issues. There are certain things, mental health issues around these things, all influencing their feeling and their behavior. So these mental health issues would increase people's risk. The psychosocial issues, psychology issues, their thinking, emotions, their behavior, and social issues. These things I'm going to talk about increases people's risk, and influences their behaviors. Or predisposed one to getting HIV infections. The first one has to do with poor self-image. Obiara onjenu or negative thinking about him or herself. Another the way who fanu on sheda nye papa. It's not in a certain positive high way. It affects their behaviors. And they can get involved in all kinds of things in order to feel good about themselves. And some of those behaviors may be sexual behaviors or drug use or alcohol use and all kinds of abuse. And that can increase their risk. The next has to do with perversive sexual behaviors or illicit sex or dangerous sexual behaviors. Anybody it increases the person's risk. So any kind of sexual behavior, even societal norms na nankasa ina numu moral issues na za onfa papano, it increases the person's risk. Another thing too is that stress and life challenges. There abrabomu Nsem na brain atete na how ina nipa kronis wenya any proper coping strategy. there nara nyama oda tutu akwema obokushin in life no. If it is not good, the person normally uses all these perversive sexual behaviors na friend then. And also drug use na, you know, and that can increase the person's risk of exposing the person to HIVs. Then also peer pressure and peer influence. The anyankufa in influences the person's social network, in a TV, doing a social media, in a no keke. All these kind of peer pressures increases people's risk of engaging in behaviors or be exposed to HIVs. Then also when worry will fear domestic violence and abuse. Research has shown that HIV/AIDS now, you know, those who are abused at home, it may be physical or sexual abuse. And when they will rape one, and now one brew one, now what is one do fear, now one more you know, what it one as you fear, you know, their risk, you know, increases with these sexual behaviors. There are some children who abuse one sexually. When they grow up, you know, their sexual behaviors becomes basa. Right? Some of them even go on something we call revenge sex. That was it young crofokal because of a nyama wankasa wafum, and they may get involved in all kinds of perversive sexual behaviors because of sexual abuse or abuse one. And all over the world, about 70% of women at some point in their lifetime they are abused, you know, even at home, physical or sexual abuse. And 35% you know, maybe non-intimate partners. About 70% here intimate partners. The one you want the abuse is high, and all these abuses increases their risk of getting HIVs. If you know when cope and now we receive help, it affects everything about them, including their sexual practices and all kinds of abuse and all that. And rape AIDS no. And that can affect, you know, the person or increase their risk. Then also marital conflicts and confusion and dissatisfaction. You know, there it will fear that's a worry as some on your papa. You know, na wara fear na wife num kitenguzi na azeno na on your papa. It affects you. It can affect how you do things. And there are a lot of people because of ijawa to fear what did that round, and it increases their risk. They may get involved in all kinds of alcoholic, you know, alcohol related inyama, in all kinds of perversive sexual behaviors, illicit sex. People use all these things in order to cope with their marital problems, and it will increase their risks of getting HIV. And so ukuna now here is not faithful to you, and so also the dead that are around her. And the person may get HIV and you know, not the best saying hour it will fear. So all kinds of marital problems and conflicts and all that, you know, all these are mental health issues, and these things influence, you know, people's behaviors, and it can increase their risk of getting HIVs. Then also when there is poor family care and support and attention and discipline and all that. Now even in Africa, our family system is breaking down. There, if you na parents na aunties na standard family system na za wash hand, no worry in terms of our life and all that. That reduces our chances of getting involved with people who can influence us in all kinds of behaviors on, you know. It's gone down. And because of that, children don't have any control. They have no parental care and guidance. Mami ni fifia, papa ni fifia. Mama be fie na mofoma no ada. And I was baby worried you want. And this increases their risk in involving themselves in all kinds of, you know, behaviors. Or may increase their risk of getting HIV/AIDS. Into family system are on here. It affects these things. They are all things that all contribute to these problems. Then also people's value systems, their moral value systems and their general value systems. They inyama or the per year or the tonabra bonwa or ma o stay on track. Now on deviate and now on for baby and on get involved in all kinds of things. You know. Now the moral value system and our cultural system and all that, it's all come crashing down. It's like everything is lost. And because of that, you know, we are going to see an increase in these things. You know, there's a report that came out that said that, you know, there are about 70% rise in new cases of HIV, in the system, especially in Ghana. There was 70% rise. And the question is why? Why are people, people getting these things? And if you check out, one of the reasons is about people's value systems, right? And increasing all kinds of behaviors or affect, or increase their risk of getting HIV/AIDS. And all these things are there. Then also people's spirituality. There, one can say, whether to one, their spiritual practice now, they are believing in God and all kinds of spiritual practices, meditation, prayer, and all that. All these things are protective because it gives you the right perspective to life and it checks and controls your life. It helps you live a certain kind of life that protects you from many things, right? And if everybody was really paying attention to their lives, these things are going to stop. They are going to reduce because people have a certain focus, right? And people's pursuit of their goals and aspirations and all that. All these things are some risk, over affecting Crawford. And nowadays, what I have noticed is that there are people who just don't care. It's like the kind of things that people get involved in. There are some people who have given up on life. It's like they don't really care. Whatever should happen, right? And they just want to, in quotes, have fun and just enjoy their lives. Sometimes even when you're talking to them or there's a education on TV or program or whatever, and this about HIV/AIDS, there are some people who just do not care. And the reason is why. Why don't they care? Why don't they pay attention? For example, I think that everybody knows what alcohol does, smoking and all that. But why do people still get involved? There are some people because of many factors, but there are others too who just don't care, right? And they will just do what they want to do. And that kind of attitude, that will be all die be die, and now everybody will die, so they don't care. That kind of attitude and mindset, right, affects people's risk in getting HIV/AIDS. Right? But if people really care about their lives and they pay attention to their lives, it's going to decrease because now they pay attention to what is important to them, right? And so it also affects, and it is part of mental health. Your thinking, your emotions, and your behavior, it is part of your mental health, right? And sometimes when people come and see us, we need to find out why are they thinking this way, why are they feeling this way, why are they behaving this way. And when we get to know the why, some people, it's even from childhood, the way I inherited from childhood, and the things you tell a child, how you make a child feel, all the things you are doing with your child, it is affecting them. There are some people, children in the house, insulting them, verbally abusing them, emotionally abusing them. They don't feel happy at home. They be because of marital conflicts. Now, parents are always insulting them, beating them, molesting them, and all that. Some children even live in a stepmother's home and a stepfather's home. They live with a step parent or a guardian. Na ayekayekazi na titi na hawa afrobanir femno. They only have to find solace somewhere, and normally they may get involved in all kinds of behaviors or increase their risk to getting HIV/AIDS. Right? So in the home, in the family, the way we raise a child, so your oba ananda on your oba, if the person is your child or the person is not your child, right? All these things affect it. Then we go also into church and all kinds of religious places, the mosque and all that, right? Church environment in all kinds of practice all go on. There's church network and religious network and all those things, and the practices in church and the things we promote and teach, they all affect people's mindset. It affects how they feel and it affects their behaviors into every fabric of this society. In this country, everything we are doing in this society, society it is increasing our risk or decreasing our risk of getting HIV/AIDS. And someone may say use a condom or do this and do that, but behind the condom use, even condom is not 100%, right? But the risk is very low to get HIV when you use condoms and all that, right? But the point is that people's behaviors and all that, it goes beyond condom use, right? Our fabric as a society, as a nation, the things we promote on TV, the things we promote around our communities, our value systems, our culture, our traditions. Those days, our traditional practices and some of the moral lessons we learn, even in our tradition and the family support and all the things that we promoted, even as a family, it protected us in a way from getting involved in all kinds of behaviors and all kinds of things that increase our risk to HIV/AIDS. But now all those things are coming down. And now children are watching pornography and all those things, masturbating and all that because of internet and all these, import from outside the country. And these things are influencing pervasive sexual behaviors. It is influencing drug use, alcohol use and all that. Now if you watch our television, all kinds of alcoholic beverages, and it is young people who are promoting these things. Most of the alcohol beverages and alcohol adverts, it is young people who are promoting it. If you look at most of the music videos, and all those music people we call artists and all that, if you look at their music video, sexual content, promoting violence, downplaying life and the moral fabric of our society, destroying every facet of our society in the name of entertainment and fashion and all that. All these things is promoting a certain sexual behavior, exposing drug use and all kinds of behaviors that is affecting, our risk of developing HIV. HIV is right. And there is more to HIV/AIDS than the physical aspect. Then in moving on further, we will talk about se obinya HIV/AIDS onye de oru fonu nkotin another sebi oru janena nkotin another onya skin problems nkotin ena oye HIV/AIDS ana AIDS yareba no oru kodu wonimu onye onu nkotin, but there are mental health complications of AIDS. So obinya AIDS adwenu mu nsam yareba ono so ka ho enti say obi a wo AIDS onye de bia or phone and generally only yenyim the jinya eta on the bayara anko phone as no. It is not just that, but there is more to that, and there are mental health issues oka HIV/AIDS. Now as some American, very soon mobile phone lines, now say assembly sebi and I was assembly can you can ask that question. Right, you cannot ask that question. I'm going to open the full lines very soon. But AIDS nankasano has mental health complications. Now the mental health complications, or then HIV in Buabane, they go everywhere in the body, including the brain. Now so wakasha adrenuma, they change the brain. They destroy some part of the brain and they change the whole architecture of the brain, such that the way Anipakun or Jennifer is going to come down. And all his cognitive processes and functions, executive functions, the way of concentrate, or judge in Yamafa, thinking as everything will change. Ne personality besisa. The way I relate with Nkofuna as or besisa. The mental, Yama P besisa when I been memory na as a subokofum, the way okay in Yamafa. Because HIV in Boabad, they change the brain, they affect the brain, and it's going to affect it. They will become confused and delirious. Confusion it will come up at some point with HIV, and generally more than 40% of the people who have HIV, they will have this kind of brain problems. Even as the disease progresses, it is not just oral phononcotin. Things are going on in there and also going on in the brain. The next thing too about mental health is that most of them go through depression, major depressive disorders, characterized by sadness, feeling of worthlessness, hopelessness, loss of interest, loss of energy. They become suicidal. Sleep becomes problem. You know, one to in that, one to in the D, one real hole, one Irish shemna about toyemu abrabom yina toko. You know, and they last for more than 2 weeks. They go into major depression, and that requires a certain professional help. Another thing too is anxiety. That is so Yoruba. That is so about Yoruba Nankasa. Is so about society. In a azar society, beye in a there is so owu is so in a jubam is so that it happens to them. So most of them go through that kind of anxiety. Then another thing too is stress. Ebre is associated with HIV and AIDS Yoruba. AIDS Yoruba. Ebre kahu. Ebre in taking medications all the time. The area hospital back. If there's disease control no wanye na ebia one quantum na Yoruba advance. Ebre there is stress associated with the management and living with HIV. There one can say if fear in quite and bay in a conformable support to in a juma samna area and every brand it is associated with AIDS Yerban. Then another thing to making the stigma. Yaka stigma. There in Crawford was what is through and a war show when you be because a beer would him there were AIDS. Even one young kufupo besisa. If you post a young croffer wo fear Robert Tassi ya no wa support wa it's like obeying there now no like yerete obia okede o HIV obey HIV ambassador mrefinizin since you also on your HIV AIDS now or can keke you know because of you know the stigma. There tonazimpo no obi wundo eta onpro otowazi ifie po ina wo family na kitanwuzi no the stigma yezi attach HIV no or a major issue or affecting crofa all man crofu one co test numpo maka no asem right and stigma is a major thing or affecting crofa wo HIV AIDS. And as a society we need to change our perception about HIV AIDS. And we need to embrace and support people who have HIV AIDS. Because I was the hypertension, honestly AIDS. And Nina Yoruba. So why do we stigmatize one and leave the other? And sometimes Obu AIDS about born into the way no. Because the spread of HIV, there are many ways people can get HIV AIDS. Now my can opinion. Hey people no if you nukuna na ne no the same. Bia your friend then Nsem ozinyen bia bibinti na unyen you may not know even if you think that impakunu kobo brobona it is not a basis to judge the person and stigmatize and throw the person away because maybe yours is lying hers is something else. The stigma and stuff associated with HIV it is a major problem or affect how we manage and deal with HIV and even the diagnosis of HIV. Like we said, the new cases are hearing close to about 20,000 people are new cases or a rise about 70%. And as we talk now, there are many people who may have HIV/AIDS because one can test it is affecting them. I'll come to that very soon. Then another thing too is social isolation. The one who AIDS, in social interaction as in no the two. They isolate themselves because of all the stigma and all that. And those social isolation, all my Yerebanupo are worse. Because going to take their drugs and all that becomes very, very difficult. And they have to isolate themselves, from the society, and that can affect them. Then another thing too has to do with work-related issues. They want to HIV because of the management and the problems it affects them. And some of them may not be able to work. Say, worry you may be it is difficult. They are not able to work. Some of them may not, especially if the disease is advanced. And now why a week now it affects them. and that can affect their finances. It affects their self-care. It's when your relative bia or tiyarbanasa or buona, it becomes difficult, very, very challenging for them. The financial and the economic and all the work-related issues now support now, it becomes a major issue even for those living with HIV and AIDS. Right? We're living with AIDS. Right? Then also the pursuit of their goals and aspirations and all that. Then nanka sampono botea opedozi sinenyim wa brabom or achieve wa brabom. Ayo zen. And most of them may even give up on their dreams, and especially when they get AIDS and it gets advanced and all that, it becomes difficult for them. It becomes very, very difficult for them. Then even if the person is religious or the person, for example, is a Christian and all that, it can affect their faith. Obotum will push one jizim. And even one has or corner as in they may not be able to even go to church properly. And even stigma in church may be very, very, very serious. And because of that, they may want to even stay at home. And even one interaction with God may even come down, right? Because of AIDS, right? But you have to know that the mental health issues now, there is help. That is why for HIV and for AIDS, there are all kinds of mental health professionals, psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors, and all those workers who are there and have been trained to be able to help you, deal with these kind of challenges. The next level, the next thing about mental health and AIDS, has to do with the diagnosis of HIV/AIDS and mental health issues. The first thing about this is that say obi obokode one testing for AIDS, onye easy HIV, onye easy. There are many people who, one, because of fear, anxiety, they won't go. Because wosro there mukwe wakademo eta eba sem no besi. Hey, you see there is a lot of fear around it. It's not that simple. But the encouragement is that if you have HIV, let's say what test to say it is better because we start the will treat will manage in Tama. You are able to live very long and go about your normal duties well. But say uncontaminated one diagnose wa let's all show or progress disease need progress and send we one. By then it would have been too late and you will struggle. Say you diagnose one in Tema, oh yeah. But say you undiagnose one in Tema, or how again. When it gets to AIDS and it advances, it is difficult. But say in Boban Womuna and Temna Niye Huno, there are medications that wasn't mawa or improve the situation or buakra so that you can live, as long as you have to live and you can be able to go about your normal functioning. Into me bakade enyue hua onyeta no. Enyue hoye because when you are able to find it early, you are able to deal with it early and it would affect you and help you live better. But say you tell me, na say enka test ya, go and test. Go and test. Because it is not a death sentence. First in your AIDS, no Nsem no, in your HIV, no Nsem no, or also because now a lot of things we didn't know. But now, when you have HIV, there are a lot of things that can be done for you. You are able to live a very normal life. Even for pregnancy, mother to child transmission, right? There is a way of preventing it. There are all kinds of things that what's about when you start, all kinds of things trying to teach you or reduce what transmission rate even to your child. There are many mothers who have HIV one band way negative because we are able to help them, right? So if you come early, if you diagnose early, it's going to help. But the thinking and the fear and about it, it is stopping a lot of people from going to check. And you have to check. It's a mental health issue. Then also ignorance. There are many people hey, wonim a simple na samba. Ya ka is one simple. And even if wonima one G zipo do ho. There are some people, even if they've heard about it, but they don't even believe that it is true. AIDS is real. There is something called AIDS. There is something called HIV. And people have it, and people are on treatment. If you go to the hospital, it is there. People come for treatment all the time. It ain't to make you're real. There are many people who know about it, but they don't care. Or they are ignorant about it because they don't know. And there are some people who are misinformed. The misinformation about the diagnosis of HIV and all that is preventing people from going to get tested. Then the last thing we'll talk about the stigma. Because of the stigma relating with HIV/AIDS, people don't want to go and test. Hey, into me kakara se nkofun, and me check na so a person nkofun there mo AIDS. What will happen to me? What is going to happen to me, right? And because of this stigma, a lot of people have decided not to go and check. But you need to go and check. And when you go, they are going to take a blood sample, and they are going to check whether you have HIV/AIDS. We have two, HIV1 and HIV2. They are going to check, and based on that, if you have HIV, they are going to help you, deal with it, right? Then the last thing has to do with mental health and the management of HIV/AIDS, right? Or there, HIV/AIDS, the management, onye iduru fankote. If you have HIV, it is not just the drugs that you need in order to manage the AIDS. It seems from what I've said to you, now you realize that there are a lot of mental health issues around AIDS and HIV. That if you are diagnosed with HIV, it's not just the drugs. The drugs are supposed to help you reduce your viral load and improve on your general well-being and fight all kinds of illnesses and all that. But you need a holistic management. Right? You need a multidisciplinary. What it means is that you need other professionals and other kind of approaches to help you deal with the AIDS. And there are some of us, I say that you need a holistic. Go to the hospital and take your drugs. In addition to that, pray. In addition to that, see a counselor, a psychologist to be able to help you totally manage. In addition to that, you need social support. This is holistic. But there are some of us, we are only praying. There are some of us, counselor or psychologist. There are some of us, we are using just herbal medication alone to treat it. And sometimes you hear, brah, you will cure, brah, this, you will cure. There are a lot of people who are following those cure, practices. And by the time over the hospital, na azina advance why you're worse. And this is a major mental health issue. People's thinking about it, all kinds of religious influences and all kinds of herbal influences and all kinds of things or affect management. And other things has to do with the fact that there are many people who get HIV and stuff, family abandons them, and that affects their management. And so, the advice I give is that be holistic in your approach. Yes, of course, you need the drugs. Yes, of course, you need to pray. Yes, of course, you need psychologists and counselors. You need everybody together to help you maximize your health. When you just focus on one aspect and leave the others, it may get worse. And things are going to get very bad. Then also, another thing too is social support and care. When you eat with someone with AIDS, you won't get it. When you hug someone with AIDS, you won't get it. AIDS, those who have AIDS or HIV, they need a lot of support and care. They need a lot of understanding to be able to pursue their goals. There are many people working in town. If they don't tell you they have HIV, you will never know, because they have been able to manage their illnesses very well. Right? And you need a lot of social support to be able to do that. And the community culture and attitude and everything has to change. We need to embrace those who have HIV/AIDS. We need to be able to support them the same way we support people with hypertension, diabetes. They are all chronic illnesses. You can't cure them, but with all of them, you can manage it well and you can control it. And so if you don't see someone with hypertension, in a certain eye, you should also not see someone who has AIDS with a certain eye or HIV with a certain eye, because ni na ya yereba, what's the hypertension, what's the BP, or your mujambrodo, no sooner as you AIDS and you HIV, and you need to be able to manage it. You know, you need to support them. Then also you need a lot of financial support. Drugs now that was in hospital, you know, only quite kaji, one you she kaji. But we transportation, for example, a year in a ifie juma in a ifie zina support na, especially in your AIDS. You know, you need a lot of financial support and care from people who, you know, will support you and all that. Right? Inti, the mental health issues around it is quite significant. And on your indunary fanunkote ina obwa, but you need, you know, other things to be able to help you deal with the totality of the issues. Right? Very soon you will see the number, yen phone lines, you know. Very soon we'll put it up on the screen so that you have, if you have any questions or any contributions, you can call us. My name is Dr. Isaac Manata, and you're watching Margin Nsem. Margin Nsem is a mental health issuer every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. We discuss mental health issues. Now, the whole of this week and this month, we are making a lot of noise about HIV/AIDS. Now, we want people to know that the HIV/AIDS is real. There are all kinds of managements that you are going to get, you know, that you can get when you get HIV, and that there are also mental health issues associated with HIV/AIDS. Right? And trying to summarize and put everything in perspective, right? I want you to know that HIV/AIDS is real, right? It's been with us for as long as we can think about, right? And there are a lot of things that people do that exposes them to getting HIV/AIDS. It exposes them to getting HIV/AIDS. And their mental health issues, your thinking, your emotions, and your behavior, that is associated with this HIV/AIDS. And so being an HIV/AIDS, it's not just orphan and or a year uncotain, but there are changes that go on in the brain. There are things that affect how they feel and how they behave, which is in the domain of mental health. And they need to be able to deal with it. And we said that people's risk factors, you know, risk factors about all kinds of blood-related sex, you know, related issues. We've talked about, you know, blood transfusion. We've talked about using sharp objects and needles and all that, and the blades and all that. We've talked about mother-to-child transfusion, breastfeeding, and pregnancy-related issues. All these things are risk factors. In addition to that, there are mental health issues that influence, you know, our choice of, that influence our risk factors relating to HIV/AIDS. Right? And if you have anything that you want to say, or you need any help with this, after this show, you can call 0249 802 500, 0249 802 500, and we are going to address your issues. If you have anything you want to talk about, or you need any help or assistance from, especially from a psychologist, and you need someone to talk to, you can call 0249 802 500. You can call that Gowling from tomorrow. You can call this line. And for example, if you are into any kind of behaviors or any kind of thing you are involved in, that you realize that it's going to increase your risk of getting HIV and AIDS, you can also call that line, even for help or assistance. And we are going to help you with anything that is going to affect you. So thank you so much for watching me this evening. My name is Dr. Isaac Manata, and Margin Nsem Jumezini. I'm a medical doctor and a clinical health psychologist. And this show, we talk about mental health issues. Thank you very much. Nyamebua, next week, Tuesday, from 6 to 7, we are going to come your way with another topic. So stay tuned. Na fre dofubi de ombo share Margin Nsem Jumezi. Thank you very much for watching us. Yamisha Hoina, Macron.
Hi, my name is Nana Ifa Obing.
I am Dr. Aduma Jumofoko.
Munyaba Ajoa Hinene.
You're from Michael Teji Soto.
If I had malaria, would you talk to me? Would you play with me? If I had diabetes, would you talk to me? Would you eat with me? What if I had hypertension? Would you socialize with me? Then why is it that if I have HIV, you wouldn't do any of these with me?
HIV is yare, it is a 3D yare. It is a mujabroso, it is a kokram, it is a yare biara. And until a here, so will be HIV is yare. Yet it's a so so ana empo. Your bonny bay ye, ana your bonny eating money.
People living with HIV/AIDS are just like you and me. So why do you judge?
They need the same love and care and affection that you and I need.
The Piashan crying. None ye here can say, say, wouldn't pie boy ever turn a chi.
And how many panwa trans are tell when you need J. Was under Yabanotono, Nina num nad of one pool, Nemum Wabian.
Unfair treatment and stigmatization against persons living with HIV/AIDS is just enough to kill them.
Say no to stigmatization. It could be you.
Join us as we discuss these and more on Fast. Fast, showing soon on Ocean One TV.